Welcome to Honoring Greatness. I'm Christopher. This channel is a place to remember exceptional people whose lives, achievements, and influence continue to resonate far beyond their time. Their artistry, vision, and dedication touched hearts across the world. Join us as we reflect on their legacy through stories from film, music, culture, and unforgettable moments that still inspire today. Don Iwerks, a respected special effects pioneer and Disney legend, died on July 9, 2026, at the age of 96. He was known for developing innovative technologies, including Circle Vision 360 degrees, which gave visitors immersive experiences at attractions such as America the Beautiful and the Timekeeper. Iwerks later founded Iwerks Entertainment, where he helped advance 3D technology for theme park attractions, including Captain EO and T2 3D, Battle Across Time. His career combined technical creativity with a passion for creating experiences that audiences could not find anywhere else. Before entering the entertainment world, Iwerks served in the U.S. Army as a photographer during the Korean War. Over decades, his work helped transform the way people experienced attractions, making him an important figure in the history of special effects and immersive entertainment. Eliseo Rodriguez Delgado was a Puerto Rican baseball catcher whose career reflected patience, determination, and a lifelong dedication to the game. Born in Fajardo in 1946, he moved to New York as a child and grew up near Yankee Stadium, where he admired Yankees legend Yogi Berra. After beginning his professional career in 1964, Rodriguez steadily developed through the minor leagues before reaching MLB with the New York Yankees in 1968. He later played for the Kansas City Royals, Milwaukee Brewers, California Angels, and Los Angeles Dodgers through 1976. While he was not a headline-making superstar, Rodriguez earned respect for his defensive skills, reliability, and professionalism behind the plate. He died at 79, leaving behind a story of perseverance that stretched from Puerto Rico to Major League Baseball. Fiona Macdonald was an Australian television personality, remembered for her friendly style and strong connection with audiences. Born in 1957, she became widely known in 1983 as a presenter on the children's program Wombat, where her natural charm made her a favorite among families. She later gained recognition as the host of the Australian version of It's a Knockout, bringing energy and enthusiasm to the popular show. A life beyond television, raised on a cattle property in Blackall, Queensland, Macdonald developed a grounded personality shaped by her regional upbringing. She later explored interests beyond hosting, becoming known as a wine expert and contributing as a writer and editor. Macdonald passed away, with the exact cause of death not publicly disclosed. She is remembered for her warmth, versatility, and the genuine connection she created with viewers throughout her career. Lo Januzi, born Raffaele Iannuzzi in 1928 in Grottolella, Italy, was a journalist, writer, and political figure whose career reflected decades of Italian public life. He became widely recognized for his investigative journalism, especially during his time at L'Espresso, where he worked with Eugenio Scalfari on a major investigation into the secret military plan known as Piano Solo. The report created national debate and placed Januzi at the center of political controversy. He later entered politics with the Italian Socialist Party and eventually returned to journalism. In 1979, he helped establish Radio Radicale and later served again in the Italian Senate with Forza Italia. Januzi continued writing for publications including Panorama and Il Giornale. He died in Naples at 96 after pneumonia. His career remains remembered for bold reporting, political involvement, and a lasting influence on Italian media. Malik, the journalist and founder of Giga, died on June 24, 2026, in Palo Alto, California, at the age of 59. His family described his passing as the end of a long health journey involving his heart. Through Giga, Malik became an important voice covering Silicon Valley and the rapidly changing world of technology. The publication attracted millions of regular readers who followed his reporting and commentary on the companies, ideas, and innovations shaping modern life. Beyond simply reporting technology news, Malik was known for offering thoughtful perspectives on how technological changes could affect everyday people. His writing often connected the world of Silicon Valley with broader questions about society and culture. He is remembered for his insightful commentary, independent voice, and lasting contribution to technology journalism. Mary Wallace, Wally Funk, the pioneering aviator and oldest woman to travel to space, died on July 8, 2026, at her home in Grapevine, Texas, at the age of 87. Funk made history in 2021 when, at 82, she flew aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard spacecraft, surpassing John Glenn's record as the oldest person to reach space at that time. Long before that historic flight, she had already broken barriers in aviation. Funk was among the women known as the Mercury 13, a group who completed astronaut training, but were not selected for NASA's early space missions. Throughout her career, she became respected for her work in aviation safety and her determination to challenge expectations. Her journey from pioneering pilot to space traveler made her an inspiration to generations who dreamed of reaching beyond the limits of the sky. For decades, millions of viewers saw Jay Leno as almost impossible to break. He was the familiar face who entered American homes night after night, carrying jokes, headlines, celebrities, and ordinary stories into millions of living rooms. As host of The Tonight Show, he became one of the most recognizable figures in television history, a performer whose calm delivery made even turbulent days feel slightly lighter. Yet the image of the endlessly resilient entertainer concealed a life shaped by struggle, rejection, accidents, and profound personal loss. Before fame, Jay had already learned what it meant to feel different. Born on April 28, 1950, in New Rochelle, New York, he grew up in a modest working-class family where discipline mattered and money was limited. His father, Angelo, worked in insurance, while his mother, Catherine, was a Scottish immigrant whose warmth balanced the family's hardships. Jay's early years would teach him something that remained with him for life. Sometimes resilience begins long before anyone notices you need it. The boy who struggled. When Jay's family moved to Andover, Massachusetts, school became one of the first places where he discovered how unforgiving the world could be. He struggled with dyslexia, and ordinary assignments could become exhausting battles. Letters seemed to move, sentences slipped away, and reading aloud could turn a classroom into a place of embarrassment. Teachers saw the difficulties before they saw the determination behind them. A guidance counselor reportedly suggested that traditional education might not be the right environment for him, words that stayed with Jay for years. But somewhere inside that frustration, comedy began to emerge. Making people laugh offered him something school could not: a feeling of control. If a joke could break the tension, even for a few seconds, he could breathe again. Humor became more than entertainment. It became protection. Jay learned to imitate teachers, turn awkward moments into punchlines, and transform embarrassment into laughter. The child who felt unable to keep pace with everyone else discovered that he possessed something others could not measure with grades. He could make people listen. Cold nights. After leaving Andover High School in 1968, Jay attended Emerson College in Boston, studying speech therapy, while quietly nurturing ambitions that reached far beyond the classroom. But dreams were expensive, and Jay had little money to spare. He worked wherever he could find employment, delivering pizzas, handling engine parts, and spending time around automobiles. The jobs provided survival rather than security. Some nights, when money ran out, he slept in his car, enduring Boston's winter cold with little protection. These were not glamorous years, and there was no guarantee that comedy would ever become a career. Yet Jay continued appearing at open mic nights and small clubs, often performing for audiences that barely noticed him. He faced rejection from club owners, endured weak crowds, and sometimes waited hours for only a few minutes on stage. Every failure carried an old echo from school. Perhaps the people who doubted him had been right. But Jay kept returning. He understood something important about comedy before he understood success. Talent could get you noticed, but persistence could keep you alive. The young man who once struggled to read a page was now learning how to hold an audience. The first break, in 1977, Jay's persistence brought him onto The Tonight Show stage, alongside Johnny Carson. It was a small moment, compared with what would eventually follow, but it represented a dramatic change in his life. The lights were bright, the audience was unforgiving, and the pressure was enormous. Yet Jay performed, earned laughter, and began building a relationship with one of television's most influential figures. The years that followed were still difficult. He worked constantly, traveling between comedy clubs and television appearances, while refining a style built around observation, timing, and relentless preparation. In 1986, he became permanent guest host, bringing him closer to the chair that had once seemed impossibly distant. When Carson retired in 1992, NBC chose Leno as his successor. The decision immediately created tension, because David Letterman had also been viewed as a potential heir. The late-night rivalry became a national story, but Jay largely avoided turning it into a personal war. He focused on the job. The boy once told he did not fit the classroom had somehow reached the most famous desk in American late-night television, The Tonight Show. Jay officially inherited The Tonight Show in 1992, beginning a remarkable run that would last more than 2 decades. His approach was different from Carson's and Letterman's, but that difference became part of his strength. Jay relied on consistency, accessible humor, celebrity interviews, topical monologues, and an extraordinary work ethic. He rarely treated success as permission to relax. Even after becoming one of television's highest-paid performers, he continued performing stand-up outside the studio. He was known for arriving prepared, writing constantly, and maintaining a schedule that would exhaust most people. At his peak, his television salary became enormous, yet he reportedly made financial decisions that prioritized his staff and continued working beyond what his television contract required. Behind the numbers, however, was a man who had never forgotten insecurity. The audience might see confidence, but Jay understood how quickly success could disappear. Every monologue represented another opportunity to prove himself. Every laugh reassured him that he had earned his place. For millions of viewers, he became part of a nightly routine. For Jay, the routine represented something deeper, the chance to give others the laughter he had once needed himself. A difficult succession. The greatest controversy of Jay's career arrived years after he had already become a television institution. In 2004, NBC announced that Jay would eventually leave The Tonight Show and make way for Conan O'Brien. The plan was supposed to provide a smooth transition, but television rarely follows a clean script. When Jay finally stepped aside in 2009, Conan took over the historic desk. Ratings and scheduling problems soon created turmoil. NBC proposed moving Jay into an earlier time slot while adjusting Conan's schedule, triggering intense public debate. Suddenly, Leno was being portrayed by parts of the media and audience as the villain in a conflict involving network executives, programming decisions, and competing late-night personalities. Conan had passionate supporters, and the controversy became increasingly personal. Jay, however, largely avoided attacking his colleague. The situation damaged his public image even though much of it had been shaped by decisions beyond his control. When he returned to The Tonight Show in 2010, the comeback was complicated. Some viewers welcomed him, while others viewed the return through the lens of the controversy. Jay continued doing what he had always done, showing up, working, and trying to let the jokes speak louder than the headlines. The final goodbye. By 2014, Jay had spent more than 2 decades sitting behind The Tonight Show desk. He had survived changing audiences, competing hosts, network politics, cultural shifts, and the enormous expectations attached to one of television's most famous positions. When his final episode arrived, the moment carried a weight that even Jay's humor could not completely hide. He spoke about his years on the program with visible emotion, describing them as among the best years of his life. For once, the man who had spent decades making other people laugh, allowed viewers to see his own vulnerability. The farewell represented more than the end of a television contract. It closed a chapter of American popular culture. Generations had grown older while Jay remained a familiar presence at the end of the day. He had entered homes during political upheaval, economic uncertainty, national celebrations, and personal hardships. Now, he was leaving the desk that had defined his public identity. Yet, he did not disappear. Jay continued performing stand-up, appearing on television, working with automobiles, and pursuing projects beyond the late-night spotlight. Retirement, for him, was never synonymous with stopping. When the body spoke, long before the most publicized accidents and medical scares that would come later in his life, Jay had already learned that relentless work could exact a physical price. His schedule was notoriously demanding: television tapings, travel, stand-up performances, writing, appearances, and his passion for automobiles created a lifestyle built around constant movement. In April 2009, reports emerged of Jay experiencing a health-related collapse that highlighted the enormous pressure surrounding his career. The episode reinforced a truth that he had spent much of his life ignoring: endurance has limits. Jay had built his reputation around showing up no matter how tired he was, but the human body does not always accept the rules imposed by ambition. Even when the cameras were off, the expectation remained that Jay would continue moving. His work ethic had helped transform him from a struggling comedian into an American institution, but the same determination could also become a burden. He had spent years treating exhaustion as something to overcome, rather than something to respect. The lesson was becoming unavoidable. No amount of discipline can make a person immune to time, injury, stress, or the consequences of repeatedly pushing beyond the point where most people would stop. Life beyond the desk. After leaving The Tonight Show, Jay entered a different phase of his life, but he did not retreat completely from public life. Stand-up remained central to his identity, allowing him to return to the environment where his career had originally begun. Away from the nightly television schedule, he could choose his own rhythm and spend more time with another passion that had followed him for decades: automobiles. Jay's extraordinary collection and knowledge of cars became a major part of his post-Tonight Show identity through projects such as Jay Leno's Garage. The program allowed viewers to see a side of him that late-night television had only occasionally revealed. He was not simply a comedian standing beside expensive machines. He was genuinely fascinated by engineering, restoration, history, and the people who built and preserved remarkable vehicles. This chapter offered something television fame could not always provide: curiosity without pressure. Yet even as he enjoyed greater freedom, life continued presenting challenges. Accidents involving his vehicles would later remind him that passion carries risks of its own. The man who had spent decades surviving professional pressure now faced a different kind of unpredictability, one that could not be defeated by preparation alone. The accidents Jay Leno's later years were marked by a series of frightening accidents that demonstrated just how vulnerable even a famously resilient person can become. In November 2022, he suffered serious burns in a gasoline fire while working on one of his classic vehicles. The injuries required medical treatment and surgery, and photographs taken during his recovery showed a dramatically different image from the polished television personality audiences remembered. Yet Jay approached the ordeal with the same humor that had carried him through countless difficult moments. He recovered and returned to public appearances. Then, in January 2023, another accident left him with multiple broken bones after a motorcycle incident. The combination of injuries was startling, especially for someone who had already endured the fire only months earlier. But once again, Jay refused to define himself by the accident. He continued working, speaking publicly, and maintaining his interest in automobiles. These incidents revealed something important about his character. Resilience does not mean avoiding pain. It means discovering what remains after pain arrives. Jay had spent his entire life learning how to stand back up, and even at an age when many people would have stepped away entirely, he kept moving. Losses and silence. Perhaps the hardest battles in Jay Leno's life were not professional at all. Fame can make people believe they know someone, but it cannot reveal the private grief carried behind closed doors. The loss of loved ones, particularly family members facing serious illness, can create a kind of pain that no career achievement can repair. Jay experienced profound losses within his family, including the deaths of relatives affected by cancer. Those moments carried a different weight from professional rejection or physical injury, because there is no comeback performance after losing someone you love. There is no applause that fills the empty chair at a family gathering, no punchline that restores a familiar voice, and no television audience capable of sharing the exact shape of private grief. For someone who spent his career turning pain into humor, grief presented a challenge that could not simply be rewritten into a joke. His public persona remained steady, but behind that composure was the reality of aging, mortality, and the people who had helped shape him before the world ever knew his name. The losses reminded him that resilience has another meaning. Sometimes, it is simply continuing to live while carrying someone who can no longer walk beside you. What remains? At 75, Jay Leno's story is no longer simply the story of a comedian who conquered late-night television. It is the story of a man who spent decades turning rejection into motivation, hardship into discipline, and vulnerability into humor. The boy who struggled with dyslexia became a performer capable of speaking to millions. The young man who slept in a car became the host of one of television's most prestigious programs. The comedian who once fought for minutes on tiny stages eventually occupied a desk watched by millions every night. Yet success did not protect him from accidents, controversy, aging, exhaustion, or grief. If anything, his later years have made his story more human. Jay's greatest achievement may not be the ratings, the money, the awards, or the length of his television career. It may be the refusal to allow hardship to determine the final sentence of his life. He continues to work, laugh, collect cars, and appear before audiences because those things are not merely occupations to him, they are expressions of identity. The world once underestimated Jay Leno because it saw his struggles before it saw his potential. Decades later, his life offers a quieter lesson. Being unbreakable does not mean never falling. It means finding a reason to rise again.